Hi, it's Nell. Thank you for joining me today at my work table for a change. I decided to do a DIY succulent wreath for myself, and I thought, why not do one? I'll do two more, so I'm going to do 3 succulent wreaths, and I'm going to show you how I do it. Only these are not going to be living succulent wreaths. They're going to be faux, fake, or artificial succulent wreaths. And you know me, I love living plants, and that's what I usually am talking about, but I just decided to do a faux succulent wreath for my hallway, and I'm here in Tucson, and succulent wreaths would be very hard to keep alive indoors or outdoors, so I decided to do an artificial one because I thought, I have a lot of art on my wall, so why not get something 3D and with some texture? And I have you covered, you know, because I have made a few living succulent wreaths before, and I've done a DIY on that, so I will leave on one of them, so I'll leave that down below. And I also did a video on how to keep that wreath alive and looking good, because that's an important part of keeping your succulent wreath going. But the good thing about a faux succulent wreath is you don't have to worry about that. So here are the 3 wreath forms. I will leave links to them in the blog post for you in case you want to purchase them, or one's very similar to it. The one on the left and the one on the right are both 16 inches, and the one on the left is called the Twig Wreath. On the right, it's a vine wreath. And then in the middle is a grapevine wreath. So these are the succulents that I got at the plant stand in Phoenix. And these are the ones that I'm using for my wreath in the hall. I might fill in with a couple of the Amazon ones, but the Amazon ones that you'll see next are ones I ordered just so you could have a reference point as to how they looked, because not all of you are able to make it to Phoenix to the plant stand, and not that many places sell faux succulents, so you might have to order them online. So here are the ones from Amazon. This one is by a company called Seco, and I think there are 14 pieces in this one. And this is by Supla. And there's also 14 pieces in here. And this one is Supla also. It is 11 pieces. And I chose these 3 because of their ratings. Oops, let's get over here. Now, this one looks a little greenish to me, a little plasticky. Not bad, but this would probably be my 3rd choice. And this one would be my 2nd. And this would probably be my 1st. Although you see there's those, I think they're supposed to be sedums. It's also in the Supla pack too. These 2 are a little bit, similar because they have some color and some tones to them. Whereas these are green. So you saw the materials. Simple, right? You need a wreath form. Wreath forms also come in wire. They come in foam. There's different twig wreaths. There's all has shapes and sizes and all that. So that's a fun part. And then you also need your succulents, and you need something to use as a hanger, unless you're going to hang it right on the nail like I am with my wreath. And what else do you need? Oh, you need, this is my hot glue pan. And hot glue, I've had this hot glue pan since 1991 when I owned my Christmas decorating business. I had a commercial Christmas decorating business, and that was the best $19.95 investment. It's still going just strong, just fine. But a glue gun is fine too, if you prefer to use that. Okay, so the steps are really simple, really easy. I chose my succulents first because I just happened to find them at the plant stand in Phoenix when I was up there buying some plants. Most places don't sell like a really big selection of artificial succulents. So on the other ones, I chose the Wreath Forms first, and then I went with the succulent. So that's probably what you will do, because the Wreath Forms come in this shape of a square. They come oblong. They come a heart form. The grapevine wreaths tend to be a bit more rustic. This is a vine wreath. It's actually a metal wreath form with vine wrapped around it. So that's what's going on here. And then you would want to attach a hanger. I'm not going to attach a hanger on this one because it's going directly on the nail, so no need for that. And then I recommend laying out the succulents first on the wreath form to see what is pleasing, because you can move them around that way or say, oh, I like this one here or there. Whereas if you just start gluing, you might think, oh, that's horrible. And then you have to take the whole thing apart in the hot glue, and and getting hot glue off of a wreath form can be kind of a pain. All right, so I have some wire cutters here because most of these are on stems and you will need to cut them off. So I'm going to place the big echeverias first. And again, it's just how it's pleasing to you. These have a pretty thick stem, so they might be, as I thought, a pain to get off. So this was not the best one to start with. I'm going to have to do this. All right, so I'm going to go turn off the video camera and get some of these stems off and start laying them out and show you what's going on. Okay, so I got the biggest ones on first. And what's really nice about this wreath form is there are spaces in between the vine that are fairly even, so it's easy to get the succulents in there. So I am just going to continue on, and what I usually do is I start with the largest and then I work my way on down, and then I fill in with the small ones. Or that's how I do a living succulent wreath anyway. Alrighty, so here we go. I've got the big ones, positioned in. A couple of them are too heavy, so they're just kind of falling off. And I decided to put in some air plants because I had them. And I like the texture. So now I'm going to go ahead and get these glued on in. Okay, so I have all the main stars of the show glued on except for this one. So I'm going to just do a quick trick, just get the glue on. And I don't put on tons of glue just in case you want to interchange any of them. Change the look. But with hot glue, you have to hold it, especially for like these that are on the sides. You really have to hold it because the hot glue takes about probably 10 to 15 seconds to really start to adhere. So that should be on. So that is what I have going on so far. And now I'm going to take all the smaller ones and I'm just going to go in and fill in. I'll leave a little bit of the vine exposed, but it's probably going to be mainly covered. Okay, so here's what's going on right now. I'm just filling in with the smaller ones. And doing this whole thing is just a matter of what's pleasing to your eye and the balance that you find. And also to a little bit of what fits in where. Okay, so here is the finished product. And I really didn't do this with a top and a bottom in mind. That way I can rotate it every now and then and see which way I like it looking at that point in time. But that's it. So this one is pretty full. It has a little bit of the vine wreath showing, but this is wreath number 1. Wreath number 2, and this is a twig wreath. I made a fall wreath on the other side of this, and I took it apart. And now I'm going to do this one also for me. And it is either going on my front door or the back of my front door. We'll see. So this one, I wanted to leave more of the twigs exposed, which I did. And there's the top. On that one there, I just did them in clusters. I broke up the, what looks like barley. I think it's supposed to be sedum. I broke it up and I did that in clusters, and a few of the pearls, the string of pearls, I think that's what those are. I did in there. So that is a wreath number 2. All right, now wreath number 3. It's 4:45. It's early February, so the sun sets early. So I better get going on this one. This is for my neighbor, and it's a small grapevine wreath. As you can see, I've attached a ribbon here. She can tie it off if she wants to tie it off here to hang or up here. That way, the person who's getting it can determine what the length is. And grapevine can be a little bit wonky to work with because it's not even, but that's what gives it its charm and its character. So it's going to be a little bit more of a rustic wreath, and I'm going to do this one in yet another way. All right, so here this one is. It's for my neighbor. She's in her 80s, so I think she's really going to like this one with the flowers on it. And this one is just decorated at the bottom. You could also just decorate at the top or at the side. That is one way. In the twig wreath, the second wreath I did the succulents in clusters. And then the first one, I did the succulents all the way around. So there are many choices for you on how to make a succulent wreath. Of course, including the succulents you choose and the wreath form, size, and shape you choose. So I just want to tell you something. Crafter to crafter. I've been doing this sort of thing for a while, and whenever I first start doing a project, I really don't like it. I'm like, that doesn't look good, and oh gosh, that's horrible. But then as I go along, I get to like it more and more. So if you're feeling that way, if you're new to doing something like this, just stick with it, because you're going to think that everything you make looks horrible at first, but really it's not. It's wonderful. Phew, done. There will be more details for you in the blog post, the steps, the materials, the prices, the links to everything, so you can check those all out if you want to make a wreath of your own, or 2 or 3. A wreath I don't have to maintain at all. How sweet is that? So I hope you have found this video to be helpful. I have a lot more videos coming your way, so stay tuned for those. I upload here on a regular basis at YouTube, so subscribe for more garden and a little bit of crafting goodness, mainly gardening. I thank you for all your likes and your subscribes. I really appreciate them. Now, let's get into our indoor gardens with our faux succulent wreaths and make our world a more beautiful place. As always, I thank you so much for watching, and I will catch you in the next video. Thanks. Bye.